平和になろうという世界平和生かしておくだけの
Whoever you are, I'm not letting you rule what's left of our future. 挽回
悪化の咎め村雨はその全てを
Hello. I've been wanting to talk about Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact for a while now. I played the game when it came out on the Nintendo Switch because I don't have a PlayStation and it's not for Xbox and my PC can't run the game, so I've only played it on Nintendo Switch so far, and I don't have Nintendo Online, so I have not played online yet, but I don't need to play online to know all over the internet. Everyone's already talking about it. The netcode and online is absolute trash and it's not playable online. Before we continue with the video, I do want to address a couple things. Number one, this is not me necessarily defending the game, nor this is me hating the game. This is going to be, I'm going to try to be neutral in this video because I am optimistic for Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. My first impression of the game was mixed but mostly positive, and my second impression, which I streamed it twice, only played it twice. I played a little bit on my free time, but on those two streams you'll notice the first stream, which is uploaded to YouTube in my playlist of Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, I had a pretty good time. And the second time when I played story mode, towards the end of it I kind of got very upset at the game. So the point of this video is to narrow down the specifics of what is actually bad with the game and how can we prove it. In this video, I'm going to list one by one each problem with Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact, and then the second half of the video, we're going to take those and give alterations, make a list of fixes for the game, because the game developers said have addressed the online, and so hopefully there's going to be a patch for the game coming soon. And I'm going to talk about when that balance patch, when the netcode fix might be released. I think I have a good idea of when Pito, the first DLC character, is going to come out and when the update's going to come out. But before we get into that, please consider hitting like, comment, and subscribe, because I really do love making these kind of videos, and I've been wanting to make this video because I've been seeing so many people making hate videos, rant videos about this game, which, you know what, that stuff gets views. This is not going to be a rant video though, so if you're expecting a rant, sorry, I'm going to try to be neutral. I might get heated a little bit here and there because I am passionate and opinionated. But before we get into that as well, I have to address what kind of player I am, because a lot of people making the kind of videos are either professionals at fighting games, they have played fighting games their whole lives. Me personally, in terms of Dragon Ball FighterZ, Melty Blood, Nen Impact, I suck at fighters, these kind of games, so I'm more casual. I need auto combos and I need those kind of mechanics. I know people, like the more competitive people, hate those mechanics, but I'm a casual and I suck at these games. Without auto combo, I can't do anything. So I'm talking from the perspective of a casual. This video is coming from a casual, not a professional of FighterZ or Melty Blood, but someone who enjoyed FighterZ, someone who enjoyed Melty Blood, the Fate game, and then also Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact a little bit. I think we can all agree to this for a little bit. Hunter x Hunter is a very popular anime, and when the game was first teased and announced and had its first trailer and had the next trailer, everyone was very excited that we're finally getting a fighting game for Hunter x Hunter, or any Hunter x Hunter game for the matter. It could have been any kind of Hunter x Hunter game and people would still be happy. Well, mostly I think. Nen Impact had so much potential and so much riding on it because people wanted Hunter x Hunter and people loved Dragon Ball FighterZ. Everyone thought Nen Impact was going to be Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, but instead of Dragon Ball, it was going to be Hunter x Hunter, maybe with a slightly less roster, which it is a smaller roster, 16 characters and around 20-ish characters. I think it's 16 characters right now in base roster, and then I think it's going to be around 20 with the full DLC. So the game came out, and it's very underwhelming. compared to people's expectations, because people had high expectations, and unfortunately a lot of people were disappointed. I didn't buy, play, or care too much about Naruto's Storm of Connections, but from what I'm seeing online and what everyone else is saying is that Nen Impact is doing a lot worse and getting so much more hate than Storm of Connections did on launch. Nen Impact is less than a week old, but it had demos, it had closed betas, open betas, I think a while ago, so people have played the game before, and I think people were pretty disappointed in it before it even came out, and then when the game came out for the early access, and then even nowadays when the game is now officially released and everything, people went online, except me because I don't have Nintendo Switch online, and I wanted to stream, just do more casual stuff offline, so I haven't played the online yet. And it's sad to hear, even if I do buy Nintendo Switch online, I'm gonna waste my money basically because the online simply does not work. And Nintendo Switch is notorious for having very bad online, and the controls are very bad. When I was playing offline during the streams, I was using a Nintendo Switch wired controller, a Pikachu controller for the Switch. It's the Switch 1, by the way. I don't have the Switch 2, and I don't plan on getting the Switch 2. So if you're wondering which Switch I'm on the first Nintendo Switch. So anyway, so the buttons on the Switch are notorious for being delayed, not working properly. So me going online on the Switch is probably not a great idea with the netcode being the way it is, and Nintendo's buttons being notorious for being delayed, not working properly. Before we continue with the video and the list of problems, which I'm going to narrow down specifics, not all of these, but I will admit some of these issues I'm going to list have maybe less to do with the game, well, some to do with the game and more the player. For example, again, I'm going to repeat myself, I am bad at fighting games like Melty Blood Fighters, Nen Impact. I suck at these kind of 2D fighting games. So some of these issues, not all of them, but some of them might be a skill issue on my part or just the Switch being delayed, because when I was streaming, if you were watching that, I was trying to do combos, practice combos, and I'm clicking buttons and I'm clicking something completely differently. And I can't help if I click one button and then it does something different else from a different button my fingers never touched. That's going to bring us to the next point that I'm going to narrow down, is since the closed betas, demos, the open betas, when people tested the game before released, a bunch of people made videos about infinite combos and glitchy combos with like Leorio, I think Gon and Leorio and other characters, Netero, had weird glitch infinite combos, and from what I hear, those are still in the game after release, so they haven't fixed the glitchy infinite combos. I understand like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Nen Impact, there's TODs, which is Touch of Death. I understand that there's infinite combos and Touch of Death combos in fighting games, but again, I'm not a professional fighters like kind of player, so I don't know if this is the same thing. The glitchy infinite like Leorio combo, for example, that's floating all over the internet, and like a Gon combo that's like a glitch, people are saying. I don't know if that counts as a TOD or a glitch. So I don't know if they're keeping glitched combos in the game. They should get rid of glitch combos. I know TODs are popular for these games. I'm not saying get rid of TODs or stuff like that. But speaking from someone who's a casual, I don't want to get touched once and lose all my health bar. Like, this is coming from a casual, again. I don't want to get TOD'd because that's not fun, right? It's not fun to just get hit once and you lose your character. It might be your favorite character. You might lose your favorite character at full health from getting hit once. I'm not a fan of infinites or TODs because for that reason. I want to play my favorite character, and if my favorite character gets hit once and then they're dead and it's TOD, then I'm not having fun. I understand it's in these games. I'm not saying to remove it, but speaking from a casual, me personally, I don't like that But if that is an issue or isn't an issue, I can attest to those glitch combos being needed or not. That brings us into the next point, and there's going to be more points in this video I'm going to narrow down, but this next one I'm going to mention is the biggest one to me, and the one I feel like is the actual biggest issue of Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. I'm going to list other issues after this, but this next one I'm going to list is, I think it's the biggest problem of the game, and that is the matches last 6 seconds, the health is too small, and everything does so much damage. When I was playing the game, an auto combo, there's 3 different versions of it. There's a light, medium, heavy auto combo. I think the medium brings you to half, and the heavy brings you to over half. So if we're doing math, half a health bar and one, because if you hit someone once in auto combo, then they're half health. Hit them one more time with an auto combo and they're dead. So it's 2 hits and you win the game. If we're using math, right? 2 hits, 1 hit equals half a health bar, another hit equals another. So, right, do we agree that 2 hits wins you the game? I understand not everyone plays with auto combo or plays with doing full combos on every hit, but if we're thinking about it like that, right? Let's just say you hit someone with 1 auto combo, and then you jump up, hit them again with auto combo, and they're just dead, because it's 2 hits and you win the game. Even if you whiff part of a combo, which won't happen during auto combo, but like if you're doing your own combo, even if you do like half a combo, or just mashing super attacks, mashing random button combinations, when I was testing the game, I accidentally killed all 3 training dummies by just like clicking a few buttons. And I'm just like, how crazy is online going to be when obviously netcode gets better so we can actually play online? But like, I was like missing moves, the combos, I was dropping combos left and right because I suck at these games. But even like doing like a little bit of a combo and then dropping it, the training dummy in the training mode was already dead. And I'm like, I didn't even do anything yet. The health is so small, and 6-second matches are not fun. Again, 2 combos and you win. 1 combo does half a health bar. Please. When we get to the fixes, the second half of the video, I'm gonna go back into most of the issues we addressed at the beginning of the video here, and then try to fix them up. But the point I'm trying to say is, the biggest problem to me, and probably to most people, is that you shouldn't get hit once and lose. It's not even a TOD, it's just like you get hit twice with a combo and you're just instantly dead, because getting hit once means you start the combo. So 2 hits and you lose the game. A 6-second match is not fun. The next issue might not be an issue for other people, but I think the meter, like in Dragon Ball FighterZ, you can get like some meters to do like your level 1s, level 3s, and so on. This game also has that, and I feel like the meter builds up pretty quickly, and it does a lot of damage. Obviously, it's very spammable. A lot of people just spam level 1s the whole time because it builds up so quickly, and I think that's an issue when every basic hit and the health is so small and every basic hit does so much damage as is. I feel like the meter, they should like lower it to where like it doesn't build up as fast, and I think it's perfect the way it is. If they just increase the health and lower all damage, then I think it's fine. But the meter builds up so quickly for a game that you lose in 2 hits. It's just so crazy to me. This next thing might be another example of a skill issue and me just being bad at these kind of games, but a lot of the times when I found myself trapped in the corner, I'm just getting assists spammed and spammed by ultimates. When I'm in the corner getting comboed by the CPU or whatever, there's not much to do. The Nen stance thing is a little tricky sometimes, because if you're like aiming in a certain direction, it'll do like a throw attack, and if you double click on an accident, it'll do like a kick or like a attack. and if you hold it down or press it, it'll do the aura, the protection thing, where it shows your net aura and it protects you. Because again, I'm playing on the Switch, so sometimes it does like not the one I want to do. So when I'm in the corner, this might be a skill issue, I just end up staying in the corner until I'm dead in 2 hits, because again, a combo just have a health bar, so I get hit twice and it's over. The next point might also be the second biggest issue, or arguably the first major issue of the game. As I said earlier, for me the biggest issue, I think, is just the game ends in 6 seconds. That's not fun. To get hit twice and the game is over in less than 10 seconds. But I think this next point arguably be the number one issue. And that is the price tag for this game. I believe the base game is $60 or around $60, and if you got the deluxe edition and the higher up of the game, the extra bonuses, I believe it's $75 to $80, in some cases $85, maybe $70. Around that price range is very extreme. I think the base game should have been $30 through $35 or $40, and then deluxe should have been $45 to $55. At most, the deluxe should have been $60 for the whole game with deluxe. At most $60, and I think the base game should have been like $35 to $40. The price tag is very extreme for having a small roster, for having little to do, for a really bad story mode, for a bad online. The experience of the game varies from person to person. I'm a casual, so I enjoy a lot of offline stuff as well as online. There is a lot of game modes that I have yet to test yet, and I'm very looking forward to streaming again and testing out the Heaven's Arena game mode and testing out the other game modes. I have not done them yet, and I look forward to playing them. But again, we're missing, like, for example, I'm going to address this later on as well, or I might just address it now, a tournament mode for online and offline, like how Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has a tournament mode for online and offline. Would be very cool for the game. If they create a tournament mode for online and offline, I feel like that would be a great game mode to give us, because people love that, as well as survival endless mode. I think the survival endless mode is already in the game. I think that's Heaven's Arena or something else. Again, I haven't played them yet, but I'm looking forward to playing these game modes, because I heard one of them is like a survival endless kind of game mode. I'm very looking forward to playing that. I think a tournament mode, everyone wants that. But again, 16 characters on base roster, and DLC bringing that to 20. Even if the game started with 20, with all DLC and all the base roster characters, 20 characters for a game, as priced the way it is, with a on launch bad netcode, the game is buggy, glitchy. The game should have been another year delayed. They've already delayed the game about a year, and they should have delayed it another year. I feel like they should have just taken even half a year. They should have released this game early 2026. I think January 2026 would have been fine to fix up the game, all the issues, because now we have an unfinished product and people are upset. That being said, a lot of the characters in the roster right now are very unique, creative, and fun. Killua can use his God Speed form for a little bit. Gon can go into his 100% thing, where he's all grown up. Bisky has her transformation. There's a lot of unique stuff in the game. Razor is a character I was looking forward to playing, and a character I was excited was in the base game because he's a very cool character, and I was honestly surprised he made the cut for the base roster. Kite is another example of a fun character. Chrollo is interesting, but I feel like Chrollo could have been the most unique character in the game. In the anime, they said he has to do a couple of requirements to steal someone's net ability. What if in the game, Chrollo has his own moveset, but it's like Ultra Rumble, where he can like be All For One or Monoma and like have switch his moveset around. Like if he does a certain requirement in the match, Crollo can like not steal, but like use his opponent's Nen ability as like a separate page or something. Like if you play Ultra Rumble, you know what I'm talking about. Like All For One can switch his pages around. What if Crollo can do that? Where he can still use his normal stuff, but during a combo or like during neutral, he can switch the page around. And once he does the requirements and like takes the Nen ability of whoever he's fighting, he can start using their abilities as well as his own. But it's like a very complicated requirement he has to fulfill. That would be very interesting for Crollo. But that's not in the game. As far as I'm aware, that's not in the game. I haven't played much Crollo yet, and I don't think he has a gimmick like that. But that's the kind of gimmick they're missing from the game. Characters like Killua, Bisky, Kite, Razor, Morale, all of them have unique gimmicks. Phaeton, a lot of the characters, Hisoka, Machi, all of these characters, Meruem, have so much unique to them. And Crollo could have been unique if it does something like that. The next thing is not enough costumes, and this is a question mark because there's some costumes in the story mode that you can play, like Hisoka and Kurapika are the examples in my head that in story mode, Hisoka has a costume I don't believe you can have for fighting in offline and online, and Kurapika has his outfit when he fought Ubogin, when he only had the white uniform and he took like the blue jacket off. I don't know what it's called, that blue like vest thing that Kurapika has. You can't take that part off when you're playing him, but in story mode you can just play how he was against Ubogin, where he only had the white uniform on. As far as I've seen, maybe we have to unlock it, but we don't have that right now, because I finished story mode, but I don't have that costume for Kurapika, so I don't know if there's another way to unlock the costume, or if it's not able to be selected in the character selection for online and offline, which is weird because it's in story mode. So maybe it is in the game and I just haven't unlocked it yet. But if it's not unlockable, then that's a huge missed opportunity to give us more costumes for characters. Give us Kurapika with the suit from the final season of the anime. We see Kurapika with like a suit and tie, also from the movie, and also from Jump Force. In Jump Force, Kurapika had the suit and tie and whatnot. I'm not saying add like 100 costumes to the game. I'm saying add the stuff that was like in story mode, that we played in story mode, and some other cool things, like maybe Killua wearing his hoodie he had in the York New City arc and stuff like that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Overgear and Quick Gear. I'm not like too familiar. Like, I think I understand what Quick Gear and Overgear do. I think Quick Gear is fine. I think Overgear needs to have Sparking from Dragon Ball FighterZ. Sparking Blast is like your one-time free evasive that gets your opponent off you, and you get some healing back. It increases your damage and so on. It gives you more properties. Overgear does the same thing, but I've noticed when I used Overgear on block or like in a situation where it should knock back my opponent, thinking it's Dragon Ball FighterZ, I still get hit and die. It should definitely have Dragon Ball FighterZ Sparking Blast properties where it's your one-time evasive. It's so stupid because I played so much of the game story mode trying to complete the Meruem versus Netro story mode to get all three requirements, and a lot of the time when I use Overgear, it does nothing to where Netro was still hitting me and it doesn't knock him back for a second. So I feel like Overgear needs to have some Dragon Ball FighterZ Sparking Blast properties as your one-time evasive. Just make it a little bit better and try to make it less complicated, please. I'm a casual. The next point I'm going to address might also be one of the biggest issues of the game and a fix people might really enjoy. That being how lackluster story mode was. For having a small roster, it's very hard to tell the story of Hunter x Hunter and giving you fights to do, giving you things to do in story mode with a small roster. It had to skip a lot of story because we don't have the characters and the character models in the game to tell a lot of the story, so it made sense why they did what they did. And it's all slideshows. There's like little to no voice acting. The only voice acting that I remember is like grunting noises and like saying attack names. Like when Hisoka says bungee gum, that's like the one time there's voice acting in story mode. It's like a slideshow just showing you pictures and dialogue on the screen. And people hate that because it's lazy, no voice acting, and it's abridging the story in a way that doesn't really make sense because it's skipping so much of the story. And it's a very short story. It's only 19 pages of story. And a lot of that, actually, I think 3 or 4 of those is like just tutorials. So I think it's only like 15 to 16-ish missions in story mode, which is, for Hunter x Hunter being a long anime, it's kind of crazy, but it is a small roster. Now, there are positives in the story mode that I was very happy with, that people are not talking about, and I'm surprised people aren't mentioning this, and I feel like this is going to be a big point I'm going to say. In the story mode, say what you want how bad it was abridged, it was a very short story, it cut a lot of the story, it was slideshow, little to no voice acting. But here is the positive to it. There was some what-if stuff, and I feel like the reception of the story mode would have been 100% better. Everyone would have loved it. Instead of giving us the Hunter x Hunter story mode, it was all what-if scenarios. The story mode was just like a what-if, 19 pages of what-if. For example, Hisoka going back after the volleyball match to fight Razor is something I wanted to happen in the anime. In the anime, when I first saw Hunter x Hunter, and I got to the Greed Island stuff, I'm like, I really want to see Hisoka go back in 1v1 Razor. And in the game, they did that. They did that what-if scenario, and that can explain why there's no voice acting and it's only pictures. If they're creating new material and it's all what-ifs, I don't feel like people would be as upset or angry if there was no voice acting and it was just picture slideshow, if it was all what-ifs. Hisoka fighting Machi in his brain during the Heaven's Arena arc was an interesting what-if. It's a what-if they fought for some reason, if they fought right there. And then Hisoka versus Razor. What if there was an alternative scenario where Crollo was able to fight Hisoka on the mountain and his Nen wasn't being restricted by Kurapika? A what-if a scenario where somehow Hisoka tricked Kurapika to removing the chain from Crollo so Crollo can use Nen and fight Hisoka on the mountain. That would have been a good what-if. There was also a what-if Bisky fought Hisoka when they met. Like, there's a lot of what-ifs in the game. I think that's all of them, but I think for the majority of it that I mentioned, that's the majority of the what-ifs. The what-if all 19 pages of story mode that we have is just that. 19 different what-ifs. What if Uvogin somehow got out of Kurapika's chains? What if Nobunaga, if he was added to the game, right? What if he encountered Kurapika? Like, there's so many what-if scenarios they could have done. Instead of a traditional story mode, what if it was like Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, where you can go down an alternative path? That would explain why there's no voice acting and it's just pictures, because they're making new material. Now, the next part of the video is where I'm going to take all of that, not all of it because I already addressed some of the alternatives. I'm just going to address some alternatives and when the update can come out and when the DLC might come out and who might be DLC. I might save the DLC speculation for a different video or just slap it at the end of this video. I'm still deciding that as of recording this video. But now let's talk about when this might actually happen. Because they made an announcement recently, I think a couple days ago, as of this recording, and as of me editing this video, that they acknowledge the netcode online is bad. But as far as I'm aware, they only acknowledge the netcode online, and they haven't acknowledged the fact that you win in 2 hits and the game ends in 5 seconds. I'm concerned they haven't mentioned that. They've only mentioned online and nothing to do with the health being too small and damage is insane. They have not addressed the bugs, infinite combos. They've only addressed online. The Pito DLC is coming out in fall 2025, and that's around September-ish. Like, I think middle September, right? That's also around the time the Demon Slayer movie is coming out in the US, I believe. So that's going to be a huge time. The Pito in the game is the first DLC. Same thing as Bleach Rebirth of Souls, which is also a game I love and defend, is Bleach Rebirth of Souls. When Ichigo's DLC came out is when they added rank and it fixed a lot of the issues of the game. The same thing might happen here, is they're waiting for the Pito DLC to release this massive update to fix the online netcode and hopefully fix the issues I'm addressing in this video. I already addressed this earlier as my biggest issue with the game, and it's the health bar being small and the damage being insane, and you lose in 2 hits and you kill your opponent in 2 hits is crazy. I feel like the solution could just be so simple. Triple or 5 times the health bar for every character. Make the health like 3 times as big and lower damage on everything. Basic attacks, supers, ultimates, level 1s, level 3s, any attack, lower the damage on all of it. Keep auto combo, keep everything the same, keep all the combos the same, just increase health and lower damage, and I feel like that will be fine. And this is a side thing for me. I need auto combo, as I said. I need it because I suck at these games. I can't play them like professional because I'm a casual and I can't focus to do a million buttons at one time in a combo. I just want to play the game, you know? So something for me is in the game, you have to hold down one button and then press the auto combo stuff. I feel like it should be so simple. Give us the option to enable and disable auto combo. That way I'm not holding down a button with one finger while I'm moving around with another finger and then pressing the button to auto combo and do super attacks. Just let me enable and disable auto combo. That way, the finger I'm holding down the button with can be using another button. Let me auto combo just by mashing the punch or the heavy or the medium, light, or heavy button instead of holding down another button and then mashing the light or something. Let me enable and disable auto combo. Get rid of I think it's called the rush button. Get rid of that button and let me just enable or disable if I want to mash the light button and give me an auto combo. That way my other finger isn't holding down a button for the whole 5 seconds of the match because the game only lasts 5 seconds. But let me not hold down a button to auto combo. Let me just auto combo if I want to. Let me enable or disable it if I want to just mash and have the auto combo come out. Now, I pretty much addressed and narrowed down specifics of what I believe to be the actual issues of the game. And some of it could just be, as I said earlier, a skill issue on my part. But as someone who's played the game a little bit and who still, even though my second time playing the game, I got very upset at the game and there was a lot of things I didn't like about it, I still love Hunter x Hunter. And I do feel like it is a game I want to continue playing. It's just going to be hard to make content for it, even if I do get Nintendo Online and start recording online matches for ranked or videos. Because the main character I want to play is like Machi, and I want to make videos on ranked with Machi and Kurapika and Kite and Killua and whatnot. I can't do that if I die in 2 hits and the game only lasts 10 seconds. You know, it's hard to make videos for a game like that. Like, I want the health to be increased and damage to be lowered so we can enjoy the game and not lose my character right away and have a close, intense match. So I can make videos and have fun, fix netcode. I pretty much addressed all of that here. The video is longer than I want it to be, and I'm debating whether to just add my DLC speculation theory video ideas here at the end of this video or make a separate video for that. I'm just gonna list the characters here at the end of the video and may or may not make a separate video for like DLC speculation, because I'm pretty much just gonna list the same characters, so I'm just gonna list them here. Illumi, Nove, Palm, Knuckle, Shoot, Yuppie, Poof, Chitu, Zazan, Shizuku, Shalnark, Finks, Nobunaga, Zeno, and Silva Zoldyck as either separate characters or like a tag character, like both Zeno and Silva as the same character. And also Dragon Ball FighterZ has like Android 18, where Android 17 is also in her combos. So maybe Zeno and Silva Zoldyck could be something like 18 from Dragon Ball FighterZ, or they can be separate characters. And then the next character on my list is going to be Gene Freeze. Gene's Nen ability isn't really shown in the anime or anything like that. There's no actual way to know how he fights, but again, it's a video game that can be creative. That summarizes everything I wanted to talk about, all the DLC speculation theory I had at the end of the video there, as I just listed all the characters I think could be added as a Season Pass 2, Season Pass 3, Season Pass 4, and so on, maybe Season Pass 1, because we only know a Pito confirmed so far, and all the problems of the game I already addressed in the video as of this recording, and everything, all my alternative suggestions to what I think could fix the game. The main issue to me is I don't want the game to end in 2 seconds. Please increase health and lower damage. That way we can play the game. And then they said they're going to fix online, and I'm assuming it's going to be for the first DLC in September, with Pito added is a great time for hype of the game. First DLC character is when we get the big update to fix netcode and hopefully fix all the issues I mentioned in this video. If you agreed with what I said or not, please consider hitting like and subscribe. And I'm just going to address this one more time. I am a casual. This video is from a casual's perspective. This is not a rant video or the perspective of a professional player who's angry at the game. This is coming from a casual who sees the game as such, as for someone who plays the game casual, who would love to play online, but I'm waiting for it to get better before I get Nintendo Switch Online. And I do enjoy offline content for these kind of games because I suck at fighting games, but I do enjoy Dragon Ball FighterZ. I have a bunch of FighterZ videos. I played a little bit of Melty Blood. I just don't have a lot of time to record and do Melty Blood content, because that's the kind of game where, like, if I'm rusty, I literally can't like play the game, obviously, because these kind of games you can't really get rusty and then go on it for a day and then do something else. So if I want to make more content for Melty Blood, I would have to play it on my own for like a day or two and then record it, and I don't have time to do that, So I do want to make more Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact streams and videos. I'm not stopping making content for Nen Impact. This video was just addressing my thoughts and opinions, so hopefully you agreed. If you didn't, leave in the comments below what you think of my opinions. Again, it's my opinions and my thoughts and my theories and speculation. That sums up and ends the video there. So for this next part of the video, the outro of the video, I guess, if the audio was a little bit different or weird or had echoes, I'm recording the audio for this not in the usual spot where I'm recording in my bedroom. I'm not going to say like where I am right now, but it's like the walls are like, there's not much in the room I'm in right now. So like there's a lot of like echo in the room I'm in right now. So hopefully it's not too bad. I'm not home right now, but I'm going to try to edit this video best I can, because I want to get this video done today. Hopefully by tonight. My hope is trying to get this video done by tomorrow morning. If it's not, oh well, it'll be tomorrow night. But as of this recording, I'm hoping to get the video out tonight. So hopefully it happens. Again, if the audio is weird, it's because if you hear like thunder in the background or my footsteps, I'm not home right now. And there's no other time for me to record this, so I'm doing it here where I'm at right now. I'll be home soon, in a couple hours, maybe tonight. I've been super busy the past couple days, and I wanted to get this video out, and I'm not going to stretch the video out longer, but if you're wondering why audio was a little bit weird today in this video, that's why. Anyway, take care.